Welcome to Tyrannosaurus Riffs. My name is Brandon, and today we're going to talk about my first NAMM experience. Alright, what's going on, everyone? I hope you're doing well out there. I recently got back from NAMM. It was my very first trip there. I've wanted to go for probably more than a decade. Really, I just wanted to see the Schecter booth back then, but since I've been doing this YouTube thing, it's made me just want to go even more, and this year I got to go. Thanks to Royce with Heathen Guitars. If you don't know who Royce is, I demoed one of his Deviant guitars sometime in 2024, but he's rebranded the name to Heathen Guitar Works, and I'll actually have one of his guitars probably in the next month or so on the channel, so I can show you his new stuff. But without Royce giving me that artist endorsed pass, I probably wouldn't have went this year. So I just want to share my experiences with you. Now, I did try to vlog this experience, and it just felt very awkward. I had a lot of anxiety about going. It was just something so different for me. So the vlog thing didn't really work out, so I have some pictures, and I'm just going to kind of talk about my experiences there. Now, Samantha, my wife, did go down with me, and on day one, we went on Wednesday, but our passes only got us in Thursday through Saturday for the exhibitor, the showroom floor stuff. So I know this isn't like a food channel, never will be, but I want to tell you about this place. So we flew into LAX from Salt Lake City, and anytime I go to LAX, I drive straight to Huntington Beach to a little taco place called Sancho's Tacos. Now, there are a couple of them throughout California, but this is the one I wandered into with my family a few years ago. This is what it looks like. It's definitely got some different and cool vibes, but more importantly, the food here is amazing. I absolutely love tacos, and you cannot find tacos like this in Utah, at least not to my experience. So I know this is not music related right now, but I just wanted to share this part of the day with you. So Wednesday, day one, tacos, hung out at the beach, went back to Anaheim and got checked into our room. Now, that evening, I got to meet up with all of these guys. On the far left, we've got Kim from the band Monoscream. He's from Sweden. He flew all the way over here for this. He's actually Heathen Guitar Works, so one of Royce's artists, and just released his signature 7-string with him. Probably my favorite guitar of NAMM, to be honest with you. I'm not a 7-string guy, but it felt so good. And it's not because these guys are my friends, it's because I absolutely loved his guitar, and that's supposed to be in a production model soon. And then we've got Shay and Ellen with this Heavy Earth Effects pedals. You've heard me talk about them on the channel before if you've been around. I talk about the Grimm a lot. I demoed the Widower as well. And about 5 minutes before I turned the camera on to make this, I got an email confirmation from them. So they just sent me the Hesher. So we'll demo this pedal here soon too. This is a Marshall style preamp, so I'm pretty excited to check that out. Next, we've got Royce with Heathen Guitar Works. Again, Royce, I can't say thank you enough for giving me the opportunity to come down to NAMM and hang out with all of you. Hands down, this was my favorite night of the trip. These guys are just salt of the earth. They've both worked with me, not even really knowing who I was, and given me an opportunity last year. So I have a lot of love and respect for those guys. They all work full-time jobs and do this on the side, kind of like I'm making these videos. I'm a weekend warrior, right? Well, these guys are making a lot of really cool things happen with the pedals, with the guitars, with Royce's pickups, so on and so forth. I can't say enough good things about them. Check them out. Links down below to all of their stuff. Now, let's move on to days 1, 2, and 3. Actually, you know what? Let's just say thank you. Without this channel, I'm not sure that I ever would have actually made it down to NAMM, and I couldn't be more grateful for the relationships that I've created over the last couple of years because of this channel. I'm not a very outgoing person, and honestly, it's not so much the gear that I've loved checking out. I mean, obviously I love that or I wouldn't be doing this. It's all the people that I got to meet, especially in person. So thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you. Anyway, on to day one. So day one, so you know what, I'm just gonna flip through pictures on my phone. We'll screen record this, and I'll just kind of share stuff with you as we go. So that's me getting my pass to the exhibit. So that's on Wednesday. Now we're on to Thursday, day one. This right here was my very first walk in, and it was complete shock and awe for me because it was like, the room is huge. This Anaheim Convention Center is just a straight up monster. So I got this little short video as I was attempting to vlog this, but that was what I saw when I first walked in. Immediately I was at the Fishman booth. It was just there when I walked in, so I asked if I could play that Ibanez. Figured I might as well sit down and try to get used to being around that many people. So that was pretty cool. Those were just the modern pickups in red. This right here is the Ernie Ball booth. I did this part of the video a little bit way too fast. This was probably my second favorite booth of the whole place. The orange booth was really cool too, but it was all just kind of on display. There wasn't a lot going on play-wise. They do have some new cool products coming out. So they've got some headphones that were actually really good at noise canceling, so that's cool. But I noticed these. I've never seen these before, but they're valve testers, so tube testers. I would love to have those on hand, just test tubes if I needed to. I think that's a cool idea. Next, we've got the Grisenia guitar booth. These are out of Illinois, I believe. This was some of their USA model guitars. This one in the middle is absolutely gorgeous. I love that guitar. But if you look closely at this bottom one, that's got an aluminum neck. That was really cool. I've never seen a Grisenia guitar in person, so that was nice. I'm sitting down playing at the Heathen booth. Royce killed it with his setup. By the way, his I think it's 100 square feet, $4,000 just to rent the booth. That doesn't account for him having to rent a trailer, drive everything down there, create all the guitars. I don't know how he did all this, but props to him. He had the coolest booth. So this guy on the left, this is Trey from Gear Gods. The guy, the handsome gentleman in the pink, that's Arnold, plays guitar. And the guy kneeling down, that's Shay. So Royce was nice enough to let Shay put his pedals in the booth as well as his new mini amp behind Arnold to be tested out. And then truck driver Sean also had his pedals there as well, right there. So TDS Effects now has 3 different pedals. Speaking of Mr. Truck Driver Sean and Park gave me the new Bile Boost, so I'll be showing you this soon. They hand-delivered that to me. I thought that was really cool. I appreciate those guys. A couple random pictures of the Marshall booth. Again, this is all day one. The Sex Pistols Marshall half stack. I thought that was pretty cool looking. This is Tim Henson's kind of stack, the Polyphia guys. Those are beautiful Marshalls. This is the main stage, so I actually got to see Fluff play here. I think Kiki Wong played there. Quite a few different people and artists had different time slots and played on this stage. The Marshall booth, hands down, they took the crown. Their booth was amazing. They had private sound rooms, a little bit of everything. All in all, super cool experience to see the Marshall stuff. This is Cream Guitars. I really don't know anything about them other than their booth was pretty wild looking, but I definitely thought that was a pretty cool setup. This was exciting for me. So if you know, I love Eminence speakers. I've demoed 3 different ones here on the channel, but this is the new Carnivore coming out from Christian Cola. If you don't know who Christian Cola is, I would recommend checking out his YouTube channel. If it wasn't for Christian's videos on speakers, I probably never would have gotten into speaker videos, so you can thank him for that. This handsome young man, this is Tony from Pepper's Pedals. He lives in New Zealand. His trip to get here was 30 hours. If you don't know who he is, you probably know him from the Dirty Tree pedal. He's got numerous other pedals as well, but his Dirty Tree is the one that seems to be very popular, and I absolutely love that pedal as well. Great guy. This is Mark, me, and Tony. Mark also works with Tony with Pepper's Pedals and lives close by me. He's been here before. He actually did my first pedal video with me. I'll probably redo that video soon because I've learned a lot more since then. This is actually in the Arachnid Cabinets booth. I got to meet Rob. He shared a booth with Tony, Mark, and Jordan from High Wind Amplification. Now, I actually think this was on day 2, but I don't know that I have my pictures in order anymore. So this is Fluff. Obviously, I started this channel because of Fluff, Aggiefish, and Ola England. They're my 3 favorite people. But we've also got Joey from The Used. I love The Used. I always have from the beginning. Very nice people. Actually, hold on one second. So the Music Man booth where I'm with these guys actually had a signing. And we got to get an autographed photo with each of them. Obviously, they didn't come in frames, but I came home and put them in frames quickly so that I could keep them protected. The Gibson throne was pretty cool. It was just a bunch of busted up Gibsons that they turned into a Game of Thrones looking chair. The PV booth was really cool. I didn't do enough there. It was they had their own more of a private room, and there was kind of a lot of people in there when I visited. But this is Samantha and I with the 6505 stack. I really liked how clean their setup was inside there. Another Gibson light thing. I'll link these guys below too. I think this is Strega guitars. So this is a 7-string, and it looks like a weapon. Like, you can stab people with this thing. Now, if you've been here before, you know I'm not huge on 7s. This thing played so nicely. That neck was amazing. This was a shared booth with Daniel from Leclerc, but very cool guitars. I went back to the Grisenia booth and tried this one. Now, the first ones I showed you, those were USA models. These are their Korean-made models. They're more affordable, so I think they said this guitar was $1,100. That was a beefy guitar, and the neck was probably one of the biggest necks I've ever felt on a 6-string, but I actually really enjoyed playing that guitar. So, Legator, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I saw this one, and this one was just completely eye-catching. The fan frets, the fan 24 frets, Fishman, that purple, I don't even know what you call that stuff, but that guitar was really cool looking too. This was a bit of a bummer. I didn't realize that Schecter had gone private, and there's actually a lot of companies that are private there that have private booths, so it has to be like a scheduled meeting. Now, NAMM stands for National Association of Music Merchants, so where it's kind of gone more public and people like me or just public can go in, it's made business hard for some of these companies, so they've chosen to go with private booths where you can't just go in, so they can continue to do their sales. I feel like if Marshall, Music Man, and Ibanez can put out huge booths and still do their sales, everyone should be able to, but that's their choice. It is what it is. This was me playing at the Seymour Duncan booth, Charvel with the Seymour Duncan Nazgul and Sentient Rail pickups. I didn't even know those were out, so apparently I need to pay more attention to that. I got to see this. This was cool. One of the new Dimebag guitars. I like the new shape of these. Snapped a quick picture with Ken Susi. If you don't know who he is, he heads Fishman Fluence. He's been in the bands on Earth, As I Lay Dying. He's just a good dude, but I'm a pretty nervous and not very outgoing guy, so I just asked him for a picture, and he was kind enough to do that with me. Now, this is something I didn't realize they did here at NAMM. They do artist signings. So we've got Greg Coach, Tim Henson, and Herman Lee, and they also did signings as well. So, of course, got some more signed photos with all of these guys. They're all very nice gentlemen. Honestly, everyone that I met at this place was so stinking cool. Like, there wasn't a negative vibe to be had there, at least that I came across. Kiki Wong, my last signed photo. So her posters were huge at the Marshall booth. Thought that was pretty cool. She's the guitarist of Smashing Pumpkins and has her own YouTube channel. She's an amazing guitarist. I did not get enough pictures of the Ibanez booth. It was phenomenal, to be honest with you. I really liked theirs, and I've never played a lot of Ibanez's, but this one in specific, I did not realize that Ed from Korn had left LTD and Fishman. He's gone back to Ibanez and DiMarzio's. This, if I ever own a 7-string again, it's probably going to be that one, because that thing is completely gorgeous. As you know, white guitars sound better. Of course, I had to stop Glenn Fricker and get a picture with him. If you don't know who he is, go check his channel out and be prepared to be verbally abused. But he will burn stuff into your brain, so if you're looking to learn stuff, he's one of the guys to go to. Alright, now this was a cool experience. So, if you don't know who this guy is, let me explain the story real quick. I met up with Caitlin and Buddy from Eminence Speakers. I got to meet them in person. I thought that was really cool. Obviously, they gave me this shirt on, I think it was day 2. They told me to come back at 2 o'clock, and I was like, why? And they're like, well, Mick Thompson's unofficially going to be here, and we'll introduce you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I came back, and this is Mike from Omega Amplifiers. You'll know him from the Granifier. He had his hand in Mick Thompson's Eminence DV77, one of my favorite speakers. When I said, hey, Mike, because I was going to ask for a photo, he actually turned around and recognized me and said he's seen some of my videos, so that was kind of that was a cool moment for me. I thought that was awesome, which just makes me want to get a Granifier here on the channel even more. We're an Obsidian. And then they held true to their word. They introduced me to Mick Thompson. Caitlin did. She's fantastic. She's one of my Eminence contacts, and she's just such a nice person. Buddy as well. I really appreciated my conversations with them. Here we've got Park and truck driver Sean. Definitely check out his YouTube channel and his pedals. Daniel from Licklairm Audio. I got to watch Fluff perform at the Marshall booth, and the day that he was performing, this was on the JCM 800 modified. It sounded amazing. Like, holy crap. It was guitar straight in. No boost, nothing. That amp sounds good. Now, this is Christian Cola. I talked about him briefly a minute ago. That's his new signature speaker from Eminence. They said they would be sending that to me when it comes out, so I'm very excited for that. But Christian was a very genuine and nice guy. I'm very excited to check out his speaker. In fact, Eminence has got another speaker being sent to me while we wait for the Carnivore to come out, so you'll get to see that here pretty soon too. Chris Kale from Five Finger Death Punch, very nice gentleman. Gary Holt, Slayer. Jamie Slays, of course, very nice guy. He had just met Mick Thompson and was so excited. He's like, I just met my hero, and I thought that was really cool. I'm actually really happy that he got to meet Mick Thompson. And then I got to go meet my friend that I've been talking to online for 8 years through the Schecter Guitar Forum. This is Nick Garcia. He is one of my favorite people on this planet. He's a good human being. So that's kind of quickly and also blabbering at the same time my 4 days in California. I will admit that after day one of the exhibits, we got back to the hotel and I did tell Samantha I don't know if I'm going to go back for day 2 and 3. And it's not because I didn't want to. I really was struggling with some like imposter syndrome leading up to this trip. Sometimes I'm human. I feel like I'm in the wrong place in this YouTube world, but it really doesn't matter. And all these people kind of help me recognize that we're all doing different things, but kind of the same thing. And it's because we love music. So day one, the volume and the social interactions that I wasn't used to was so exhausting. I just was like, I don't know if I'm going back. But we went back morning of day 2, and honestly, day 2 was my favorite. It was an absolute blast. We were there like almost open to close and had a great time. We all had dinner. We had a big dinner that night and with a bunch of people. And honestly, it was such a positive trip. I hope to do it again, probably next year. I just appreciate every single one of you. And that's what it comes down to. It's not even so much the gear about this trip. It was just the people. The people make it worth it. You make it worth it with all your positive comments. Hey, I bought this amp because of your video, or hey, I bought this guitar pedal, whatever it is, speaker. I don't care. I'm just a guy trying to have something fun to do and still be me while being a husband and a father and being gone 60 hours a week for work. For my career. Now, my career I've been building for 15, 16 years. I'm very confident I can talk in that all day long, but you put me in this kind of a scenario, man, I felt like I didn't know how to speak at all. So if there's anything I've learned, it's if I go next year, I need to have a better plan, which I will now that I know what to expect with, gear and what I would take. I would do it way different. I would probably like interview some people, make some different content for this channel, and try and give you a better experience with myself. 2, I would not ignore anyone's advice. I ignored everyone's advice on taking good shoes. We averaged almost 10 miles a day on our feet, and I wore Converse because I like Converse. That was a huge mistake. But also because of day 1 being a little bit overwhelming, to help my own anxiety, I would take some form of earplugs for volume control just to help, because at times it did get very loud in there. And on top of being social, on your feet, you're tired, this and that. It's a lot of energy that you're spending on it. So I would take care of my ears better, my feet better, and overall my anxiety better. And the one thing I've really learned is that I need to learn how to speak to people and not maybe be so much in oh, that person's famous, or oh, that person owns this company, or this person owns that company. You know what? At the end of the day, we are all just people who love music, and that's what we're there for. And I loved seeing all of that at that show. So I've been rambling forever. This video's gone on way longer than I intended. I probably didn't even say everything I wanted to say, but again, I know I've said it a couple times. Thank you. I appreciate every single one of you. If you're still here, thanks for listening to me ramble. Yeah, that's all I have. If you ever get the opportunity to experience NAMM, I would highly recommend it, and I hope to see you there and meet you there next year. Thank you so much for watching this video and listening to me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you soon.